Mr. Wilson. He's my friend. What does the mean?
Monday. No, M-O-N. Don't know. Tell her to ask the librarian.
He's laughing at me because I'm in the 2nd grade and can't read every word. I'll never ask him anything, ever. He's not my friend.
Each night, they find a new world, right up until closing time. You're a guard at this library, Jim Wilson, and you're ashamed to look at them because you can't read. You hurt that little girl, pretending you were too busy. She knew. What do you tell your own kids so you won't have to say, I can't read? You walk by thousands of books staring at you each day. All you can read is a few numbers and dates. You check out books, but you can't even read a children's book. Sit down. And try to figure out that word. You're a grown man with years of experience. You can read some words. M-O-N. Letters don't make sense.
Mr. Wilson can't read. Mr. Wilson can't read.
You can't make it up. You've got to learn to read. Don't lose this job too, Tom Dawes. You've got to make it. You've got to be able to fill out that application form. Act confident. You know you can do the job. Tell them about your experience. Now, don't panic. Figure it out. Tell them you forgot your glasses. You'll never believe it. It's that one word. It's got to mean something. Try to remember. Piece it together. It's no good. You can't read well enough to get a decent job. You're not fooling anybody. Just yourself. You failed again. It's not your fault your father pulled you out of school. Is it your fault your mother died? But you can't lose job after job. You've got to learn to read better. Remember, they told you at church about a reading center that's free at the library. The library can help you read better, make out the hard words. It's a hard decision for an adult to make. Learn to read again. Go in, Tom. Open the door to your new life. Jim Wilson finally made up his mind. After 30 years of struggling to read billboards, of putting off real learning because you were too busy just living, you're crossing the bridge to a new world of learning. You're going to be able to read a whole newspaper, know what's going on. When a ball game comes to town, know what your kids know, make them proud of you. Be proud of yourself. Work out your own particular reading problem. Stop being ashamed. Jim Wilson and Tom Dawes, you're going to step a little higher. It's hard for adults with a lifetime of some reading experience to learn to read better. It takes a tremendous curiosity, a love of life, a willingness to improve.
Anybody others? How about what happens in the wintertime?
Sled.
All right, sled.
Sleep.
Sleep, good. How about this word?
Flight.
Flight, all right. And how about this word?
Light.
Light. All right. And we said that the GH was silent. Try this again, Mr. Dodd. Give it a good shot.
You wanted to know so bad. But the words were strange. They all seemed to know more than you. The whole group is watching you. She understood. You can't learn with other people around. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can learn something new.
Oh, Mrs. Brown works all day. She works for her friends.
For her who?
Friends.
No, she wouldn't work for her friends.
Oh.
She worked for you and the children.
Family.
They looked pretty sure of themselves, but each one had to cope with their own reading problem. They spent months learning to put sounds together.
In North Dakota.
I can't make anything out of this.
Afraid to try something new, Jim? Afraid you'll never learn to read like them? It takes time. Time to piece letters together, to try to make sense out of words.
What is the capital of Oklahoma?
Oklahoma. Oklahoma is Oklahoma City.
Fine.
What we're going to try to do here is look at a couple
Learning
of words
becomes
so I
more
can get an
difficult
idea
for
of
adults
what
with a rich background of years of living, of seeing words and images. Each adult came with his own particular problem. Jim Wilson had seen these words somewhere.
See if you can make that out. What do you...
H-O-R-S-E.
Jim was always afraid of being wrong.
out there? Give it a shot. Give it a try. What do you...
With
What do
each
you-
word, an image came to his mind. The image was so strong that it stopped him from figuring out the sounds. He was unsure, afraid to say out loud the image he saw in his head.
You think you have a pretty good guess? Take a guess. What do you see in your mind? What does the word kind of remind you of?
Horse.
Still afraid, he encouraged you. He wouldn't let you quit.
Recognize it?
Not quite.
Try it again.
As.
As. All right. How would you use that? Have you ever used the word before? As.
Can't think right now.
When you want to think of it, you can.
Yeah. Like, can't think.
So as Mary did it, would you recognize it that way?
As I was going.
Finally,
Okay.
he began to make sense out of sounds.
One Sunday, the next
Reading in a group became fun for Tom Dawes.
The text was love your neighbor as
Yourself.
yourself.
Okay, Mr. Dawes, give someone else a chance. You can't do all the reading. You want to try it now?
Yeah, I tried. That was a good sermon, said Mr. Brown. Reverend Jenkins allowed preaching.
Always.
always preach good sermons. He is a good man. Yes, he is, said Mrs. Brown, and we need to hear him say, love your neighbor as yourself. It is a thing we need to think about.
You finished your first book.
How about that?
Let's try a little reading.
Jim Wilson, books taught you more about life, about your country, about being a better citizen.
There is a star for every state. Good citizens want to know about the flag. We want to know about our flag.
All right.
Each book stimulated a discussion.
What if the man can't read and write? How would he become to be a good citizen?
Because I figure like this, if I don't have anything to say about the way things are going and what I like and what I don't like, well, I don't think I have a right to care about, if things don't go right. I have nothing to say.
In the Library Reading Center, Jim Wilson found whole shelves of books, books especially written for adults beginning to read. You never knew how much you could learn about being an American, a voter, a consumer. Learn about living, how to live better, how man used to live. The caveman intrigued you. He had to struggle too. You shared your new interests. Your new confidence brought back old friends. You told them about your full-time job, and next week you start new classes with the Board of Education school. You were a changed man.
How has the reading program helped any one of you?
Each individual felt the change, the inner security that being able to read can mean, and they talked about it.
Well, it's given me confidence in myself.
If I take a book from here, then I'll try to read that book because I have a length of time to bring it back. And then when I'm reading here, well, words I don't know how to pronounce, then you help me, and I'll read more by coming here than I would by just staying home because I keep putting it up.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, I didn't have a chance, and I appreciate the chance I do have now.
It gives me a better understanding through reading and learning to understand the words, different words, and it's the same as a light. It's shining on the same as a light that you travel by.
Mm-hmm. And you, Tom Dawes, wanted to learn more and more. You never felt better in your whole life. You tore down a wall, and now you can really see. Tom Dawes couldn't see behind this door, but he could feel the results of months of planning. Plans to enlarge the scope of the reading program. Plans by the director of the library's adult education department. The project director. The director of public libraries. They work together to reach more than 50,000 adult men and women in the city who have never learned to read well. Plans in which librarian and teachers select books to motivate adults to want to learn to read. Plans to help Mary Elder read labels on medicine bottles instead of tying ribbons around them to tell the dosage. The reading program opens even more doors. Tom Dawes and Jim Wilson met for the first time during the library tour. They both felt proud when they learned that this room holds the largest chess library in the world. And the smallest book. Jim remembered his short order cooking days. You heard the noonday concert. And the library opened a whole world of music. You watched readers use the typing center. You saw a film about people living on the opposite side of the world and went behind the scenes to see film inspection. You saw children who read with their fingers, not with their eyes. You knew their curiosity for knowledge, the pleasure of sharing interests. Remember your struggle to read? This is much harder. But you know what it means to struggle and to succeed. What it means to be able to step up a little higher.
Giving me confidence in myself.
You help me, and I'll read more by coming here than I would by just staying home.
Give me a better understanding through reading. It's the same as a light. It's shining on the same as a light that you travel by.